Welcome back to Rider TV. You're with Shirley and Vince Contarino, and today we are chatting, or you are chatting, to a South Australian legend in his own lunchtime, about to head off overseas, Stefan Hauk.
Stefan Hauk.
Hauk.
And you know what? It's funny. I'm a fan. I get to work in a band with him sometimes. He's younger than me. I just love him. Anyway, let's have a look. So, without any further delay, we want to welcome Stefan Hauk. Stefan,
thank you so much. Very well. Thank you so much for having me, mate.
Welcome back from a big tour. It was your first national tour.
Yeah, my first little kind of Eastern States run was great fun.
He's a little bit weary, and the hay fever.
Yeah, I was going to say, I haven't been hanging out with Bob Marley.
No, we've been smoking splits.
My eyes are a bit red. The hay fever's got me bad at the moment.
Shocker of a day.
Yeah.
But, so that was... Now, let's go back to... We'll talk about your tour later. Where did it all start for you, your musical journey?
Gee, it starts so far back that I don't really remember where it started. When I was about... 3 or 4, I was drawing pictures of stuff. I started drawing pictures of guitars.
Oh, so it was guitar straight off?
Yeah, I was always obsessed with, like, before I could play them, I'd just try and draw them.
Wow.
Like, I'm sure there's really terrible pictures that I drew.
And was there any style of music that you were enamoured with, or was it all, everything else?
It's kind of ironic because the way I discovered music was quite chronological.
Okay.
So the first thing I listened to was Elvis. And then after going through my Elvis phase about 5 years old, then when I was about 6, I discovered the Beatles. And I was like, great, I love that even more. Yes. And then after discovering the Beatles, it was like AC/DC and Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got my first guitar when I was about 5 years old. I was probably playing it by the time I was 7.
What year were you born in?
95.
In 95?
Yeah.
Man. You know, this is the interesting thing. I mean, born in 1960, you talk to someone born in 1950, and they're into music, and they will state almost verbatim what you've just said.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Elvis, then it was the Beatles, then it got really cool with the Rolling Stones, the Who, and Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple, and isn't that
it's really weird how it works out like that, because I meet a lot of people of your generation and older, and they're kind of, the start of their music journey is almost identical to mine, and I was born 35, 40 years after.
This is why I'm interested in your perspective, because at the very beginning I stated, you've got certain attributes as a skilled musician, but it translates into telling a story with passion and emotion. The diet of your idols, the ones that you idolise, had the same thing. And
I mean that comes from, I guess, being a big fan of the great blues guitar players, and really admiring their ability to tell a story with not many notes and not much technique or anything complicated.
Yeah.
So I think being a fan of guys like BB and Albert King and there's heaps of guys, even local guys. You go watch someone like Nick Patasakis.
Oh,
and
world class.
He's got that in spades.
Yes.
He plays 2 notes and you've got goosebumps.
Yeah.
So I think
he's an extraordinary man. He's like you, extraordinary.
He's amazing, and he's the most humble guy ever.
Oh yeah. But he sings as well. This man, Steph, you sing as well. So
I try to sing.
No, you sing beautifully, mate. So was that something that you stumbled across, or something you've always wanted to do as well?
It's been a constant work in progress. I would not consider myself a natural singer. I've always kind of been working at it and trying to improve, and so I probably started singing pretty early on, probably about 10 or 11 when I joined my first band. I sang a couple of songs.
Yeah.
I think I used to sing School Days, Chuck Berry.
Good one. That's
Yeah,
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
And then I stopped. My voice broke when I was like 12 because I'm European.
Yeah, that's right. That's the Croat part in him.
So I didn't sing for a couple of years there while that was all adjusting, and then I started singing again. And yeah, so it's been something I've always worked at.
Yeah.
And I still don't feel like a real singer, you know, when I work with, you know, people such as yourself or Sky Copson Harris or Dusty Stevens. It's like, oh, these people can actually sing. These are proper singers.
Nah, mate, you're a singer. You know, you tell the story. It's all you need to do.
Yeah, mostly in tune and sometimes in time. So
And so, you just mentioned that you started in bands 10 and 11, and you've done that consistently.
yeah, kind of. It's strange to think, you know, it's not strange for me, but you know, I'm 28 years old, but I've been playing gigs for like 16 years.
Yeah.
17 years.
I feel like you've been around forever,
Yeah.
and which is a fantastic thing. So, how has the band scene changed from those first 10 years you're in the business to now?
Oh, I mean, it's much different for me now, because I feel like when I was coming up, I was playing in like a, you know, cover band that played the local pubs around, you know, the northern suburbs.
Yep.
And there was a pretty vibrant gigging scene there for the kind of amateur band.
Yes.
And that's kind of, in the last few years, that's kind of gone to the wayside a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's not that kind of scene there now. But I probably left that scene 10 years ago.
Yep.
I started going to the Grace Emily in the city on Monday nights.
Yes.
And it'd be me and Dusty Stevenson and Billy Bob and all these guys. And I kind of got in on that scene, and that was the big change
Yeah.
for me, going from playing, you know, Thin Lizzy in pubs and doing all that kind of stuff, which is great. I love doing that.
Yeah.
But I discovered, you know, a lot more about jamming with people and, you know, thinking on the fly and having quick ears.
Yes.
You know, being able to sit in on something that you've got no idea where the next section's going, but being able to think, you know, listen quickly enough that you can adjust and not sound like you know, shitting the bed.
Well, you've got good ears, and that's why you do your own recordings, and you've been working as your own engineer and producer for how long?
Well, the first record I put out was Long Road in 2017. Oh, yeah, there it is. Here's one with...
Hang on, I've got to do that. Is that right, Mr. Cameraman? Is that looking good that way? Bit closer, like that. All right, so if you go to stefanhauk.com.
That's correct.
No AU,
Just .com.
stefanhauk.com.
We're international.
Get that. That's your first album.
So that was in 2017. So I started doing the recording thing. I studied at SAE.
Ah, okay.
After school. So that was like 2013 or 14.
Yes.
I went there. I didn't finish because I was 19 years old. I was too interested in going out and being an idiot. But I learnt enough to be able to record my own albums. So, and then, so by the time 2016 rolled around, I was starting to record the first record and then, I got that done. And then I thought, well, I better do another one. And that took 6 years.
Look, I admire and totally respect the technical side of recording. I dabbled and I thought, I can't do this. Yeah. It's too much time. So it's a good thing you started out young, but you've got to have something to record, and you write your own stuff.
Yeah.
So can we talk about your songwriting? I know this is a silly question. I'm going to ask it because there's so many different ways. Where do you get your inspirations from when you're writing?
It's varied. So, I'd say probably 80% of the time it's from life experience, things that have happened to me. 10% of the time, 15% of the time, it's others' experiences.
Yes, which is good, isn't it?
Yeah, because I've always been in my circles like the single guy.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm always the kind of I'm always around and having the tough conversations with people.
So you hear a lot.
So I hear a lot of stuff, and
You hear both sides of the story.
I always, usually.
Yeah.
So I draw upon those experiences a lot too. Experience with other people, and I'm not so much I haven't delved that far into writing, fiction, writing music based upon a fictitious idea, but that could be the next thing that I'll try and do. I'm not sure.
It'll take songwriting, it takes you there. But I mean, that's lyrics and stuff. But there's also a melodic and a side to
musically. Yeah, I mean, usually most of the time there's a musical idea first. So whether it's a riff or a chord progression, or sometimes it can just be like a guitar sound or something, and I'll be like, oh, I want to do something with this kind of feel, or I'll think of a player I really like, and I'll be like, why don't I write a riff that I think, this guy might have written?
Yes.
Something like that. So, usually I don't usually start with a lyric. I start with a musical idea.
Isn't it funny? I don't know, this might happen. I don't know if it happens to you, but you hear a sound, you play something, and from that, you get a word.
Yeah.
And then from that word, you go, oh, that reminds you of a situation or a story or a sentence, and off you go.
Yeah. And so often out of those, once you've got that little musical idea rolling around, and then, you start to just block things out with like a vague melody idea.
Yes.
And you start to discover little words when you're just singing gibberish up with a melody.
Yes.
And all of a sudden you've got a theme and you haven't even really thought about it. You're like, oh, I guess this song's about this. And then you write the rest of the song around those little words that pop up.
So obviously it keeps you entertained for quite some time. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I wish I could do more of it. Like I think I was working too hard playing, because I play a lot of solo gigs to make a living around town. And there was a period where I was probably playing too much.
Yes.
Like, especially after COVID.
Yeah.
After an injury I had where I couldn't play.
Oh, jeez, that was diabolical.
Yeah, that was.
How long did that go?
It was over 6 months.
Just refresh us. How'd you do that?
What happened is it's from sleeping with a bent elbow. So I had a trapped nerve in my elbow. I had surgery on that nerve, but actually the nerve damage caused muscle wasting in my hand.
Yeah. Yep.
So you can still see it. It's kind of a little bit.
Yep.
It's a lot better than it used to be. It used to be fully like.
Yes. It took you quite some time.
Yeah.
It's come together.
It's been over 2 years since I had the surgery.
The mental and psychological angst that you went through there.
Oh, that was.
Did it come through the other side with the material?
Yeah, definitely.
Take you to dark places?
Yeah, yes. I mean, we're so used to being musicians that I think that when you're faced with the possibility of not being a musician anymore,
oh dear,
it's like, who am I? I am a musician. I don't have any other real key interests in my life, and I'm not, besides football.
Well, there's this,
that's
a departure, man.
That's the only, otherwise I'm so focused on music and always have.
You don't have any other interests apart.
I've got no other talents.
Yeah.
I'm not. I was meant to be a musician.
Oh yeah, we know that. And if you listen to his albums, and the other album, by the way, is Heavy Handed.
That's the new one.
StefanHauk.com. Grab it.
And a lot of that album was recorded in this room.
Well, that's another thing, because you actually you can play the kit, the drums, you play bass.
Yeah.
You play guitar. Do you do keyboards as well?
I mean, I do and I don't. So I can, I play chord. All right, bring it back. Next chord.
Yeah.
It's very basic, but I can do enough
for flavour.
Yeah, to add. If I want a bit of Hammond on a song, or if I want a bit of piano, I can do enough to.
Yeah.
I never play keyboards live because I can't get through a whole song without making.
You don't think you don't think you'd embarrass Lockie Dooley or anything?
I don't think so. No,
he's not threatened.
I think he's got me covered. So,
and he plays on. Does he play on your?
Yeah. So he's on Truth, which so that's got him and Ian Pace playing kit on it, which was
Ian Pace. Now, who did he play for?
I don't know. Some
Deep
little
Purple,
band.
ladies and gentlemen.
Some little band from England.
Yeah, oh, geez, they were great. But you've just embarked on your first national tour, and I've seen snippets of it on Facebook. Fantastic, by the way. And
Thank you.
God, I hope you do more and more of it, because you need to get out there and the world needs to see you. I think it's just going to go from strength to strength, because you're not a poppy new sensation.
No.
You're doing something.
I'm a mild tingling sensation, actually.
Well, that's how it starts. It can take off. But no, because there are people out there, lots of people out there that love music to sink their teeth into, and go to a venue and go, no, there's no one swinging from, some pulley thing, trolley. There's not 10,000 dancers, which is great, but they just go there to listen to some music, and we need that.
Yeah.
And you give it to us, and it's authentic, and it comes from the right place, because you've said it all in yourself. You were bought from the time you were 3. You were drawing pictures of guitars. Where do you see yourself going in the next 5 to 10 years? What have you got? Have you got any goals?
I was talking with a friend the other night, and she's an artist from Sydney. Her name's Chloe. She's got a band called Chloe K and the Crusade. They opened for us in Sydney, and I said to her, I'm like, all things going well, I really hope that me and you are both on the bill at Blues Fest by 2026.
Okay.
Which is a realistic goal.
Yeah.
You got to do, like, it's funny. It's Australia.
Yes.
Like, if I was to go over to Europe and have a really good tour, I'd be on Blues Fest next year. But you got to do well somewhere else before Australia
Recognises you,
really embraces you.
Yeah.
So you've got to. For me, I'd love to go and play Europe.
Yeah.
I had some chats with Lockie Doley, he's done 2 trips this year.
Yes.
And
because he does France and Belgium and those places, Holland.
Yeah.
Holland.
And they love music there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the type of music that me and Lockie play. Because they love that. They love blues and rock and roll and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So he's been showing me to a few festivals over there that are interested. Yeah. So potentially next year I might be going and doing some Europe stuff.
Cool. Well, we're going to be playing. The producers and of the show, they'll be playing some of your clips. I don't know which ones and stuff, but we'll give them a whole heap of them. So if there's anyone out there that has anything to do with Blues Fest, get your shit together and get this boy on it. Not for him, but for us, because we need to see it. But Australia's got a lot to learn from places like in Europe about the culture of music. We love our music in Australia, but it's not at the frontal lobe. People don't like to pay to see artists.
I think there's the culture in Europe of being really open to new music too, which is takes a little bit of extra encouragement here, for people to be really open to something new.
Yep.
Whereas Europe, they'll hear about someone and go, "Oh, I'll go see this. I'll go see it. Pay $25 to see this. I've never seen it in my life, but I've heard he's okay."
Yes,
and they'll take a punt and as really, embrace trying something new.
And they have eclectic tastes.
Yeah,
because when I got to tour Europe and UK, you get to meet and greet people afterwards. So. And we were playing we were doing theatres with an orchestra and stuff. And, they would say, we actually saw the ballet here last week.
Yeah.
I mean, or they'd go and see something by Puccini, an opera. That
And then they'll go, oh, and Eric Clapton, yeah, he's great. You see what I mean? Whereas, you know, here in Australia, we're a bit, nah, mate, I listen to Chisel and the Angels, and that's it.
And I love Chisel and the Angels.
So do I. Well, they're from South Australia.
Yeah, of course.
But, you know, we don't broaden our horizons.
Yeah.
We do the same with cuisine, but...
Yeah, a little bit like that too. It's interesting. I think those attitudes are reflected in mainstream radio here in Australia. Is very much like that.
Yeah.
Know?
Oh, there is a mainstream radio? I thought it was just sport, talk back, half a song, 10,000 commercials.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, you know, I think that was a big part in the shift of the culture, I think, in the kind of 90s, 2000s onwards, is I think there was always, from what I understand, I mean, I wasn't there. I was, you know, shit my pants at that point.
Yeah.
But I think there was a lot of new music on radio, and there was like people were listening to what was going on.
Yes.
And it was in the forefront of the culture. I think a lot of people like to blame pokies and stuff like that, but I think radio was the first kind of thing to fall. It was like once radio stopped really pushing new Australian music, that was the point that the industry changed.
Oh, there's a whole
and there was more focus on you know, which I love, cover bands and tribute bands and that kind of thing. And I think that's when Australia kind of went in that direction.
Yep. Hey, you know what? Anything that stimulates people to go to shows
100%.
is a good thing, because there's an evolution of that, or things,
definitely.
you know, that, you know, we've seen enough of that. Now I'm going to try this and try that. And if people are coming out. Stefan, thank you for being on Rider TV. But I've got to ask you one before you go.
Yeah.
On your hospitality rider, that's when you're doing a gig, you know, what is one item, if they say, Stefan, can you fill out a hospitality rider for us? What's one thing you want on your hospitality rider?
It's very simple.
What's that?
Just a fridge full of Coke, no sugars. just no sugar.
Is that Coke Zero?
Coke Zero.
That's it.
That's it. You know, because I'm so used to, that's what I drink when I sing.
Yep.
So in order for my voice to feel like it's a normal gig, I'm gonna have one or two of them before I go on stage. That's it. Very boring.
He's easy, please.
There's no midgets with you know, plates of naughty stuff on them walking around. None of that. Nothing crazy like that. Just give me a Coke Zero and I'm good to go.
Man, I'm so glad you got your new album out, Heavy Handed. I'm thrilled that you started to tour it nationally. Yeah. That will continue. We've got to get you on Blues Fest by 2026 with your mate Chloe. Just keep doing the good work. You're an inspiration to us oldies as well, man, and a whole host of young ones and your peers. Thank you for being on Rider TV, man.
Thank you.
May you keep going strong and long.
No, thank you.
Stefan Hauk, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Look at the tears rolling down the street. Yeah, I said the sky's crying. Look at the tears rolling down the street. Well, I've been looking for my baby. Oh, somebody tell me, where can it be? Oh, I saw
Great interview, Vince.
I enjoyed that.
And we're losing him overseas for a little while.
He's going to Italy,
Yeah,
so he's doing gigs over there. It's all happening for him, and we'll see you guys.
Same bat time, same bat channel next
See ya.
week.